first blush, this image looks okay, but on closer inspection, we can see that the facial features here have been slightly distorted. This image was shot at close proximity using a lower focal length or a wide-angle setting. And it was shot with a low camera angle, so shooting slightly upwards. Wide-angle settings allow for more perspective distortions in the image. Things that are closer to the lens will appear larger than normal, and things that are further away from the lens get smaller. We usually see this distortion in shots of buildings. Here's an example. This building was shot in a similar fashion, and perspective distortion is in play. The front steps are closer to the lens, so they appear larger, and the top of the building is further away, so it appears smaller. Because of this, the building seems to lean back. So let's look at our portrait again. The jaw area is currently the most prominent, with the rest of the face getting smaller as we move higher. Let's start making some corrections here. We'll start by pressing Ctrl-J, Command-J on a Mac, to duplicate our layer. Then, we'll convert our new layer to a smart object. We'll right-click on the name of the layer and then choose Convert to Smart Object from the menu that pops up. This will make our adjustments more non-destructive. Go to the Filter menu and choose Camera Raw Filter. Now we get a whole library of editing possibilities. We'll click on Lens Corrections, and then click the Manual tab. We'll move the vertical slider to the left. A value of about -19 seems to work. If I do any more, then the top of the head gets too close to the edge of the image. We'll click OK. Now parts of the image have become unusable, and we need to crop these little bits out. Choose the Crop tool and leave the Delete Cropped Pixels checkbox unchecked. Drag the bottom corners in a bit to cover the transparent parts. Then right-click and choose Crop to complete the crop. I find that the eyes could still be a little larger. Using the Lasso tool, let's select the area around the eyes and then press Ctrl-J, Command-J on a Mac. The selection will now appear as a new layer. Let's name the layer Eyes. If we click on the Move tool, we can now see the transform controls around the eyes. I'll click on one of the handles, and the toolbar options appear. We'll click here to lock the aspect ratio of the eyes layer. Now, while holding the Alt key, Option on a Mac, we'll drag one of the corner handles out a bit. Because we're holding the Alt key down, the scaling increase happens from the center. To complete this operation, we click the Move tool. A small dialog box pops up asking for confirmation to apply the transformation. We'll click Apply. We'll click the Show Transform Controls checkbox so we can see the image more clearly. Next, we'll add a mask to the layer, and with a small soft black brush, we'll blend the layer in. Our portrait is looking better. I find his left ear, the one on the right as we're looking at him, is a little large for some reason. We'll select our main layer, and then using the Lasso Selection tool, let's create a selection around the ear, leaving a lot of extra space. And press Ctrl-J, Command-J on a Mac, to send the selection to a new layer. We'll call this layer Ear. First, we'll shrink the ear ever so slightly using the transform handles. And then we'll click on the Edit menu, then Transform, and choose Warp. We'll flatten the ear just a little bit. We'll create a stamp layer, selecting the top layer and pressing Ctrl-Shift-Alt-E, that's Command-Shift-Option-E on a Mac, and we'll duplicate the layer using Ctrl-J or Command-J on a Mac. We have a small ghosting ripple in the background that we now need to fix. We'll select the ear and the area around it, and then go to the Select menu and choose Inverse to protect our ear. Then, using the Clone Stamp tool with opacity and flow set to 100% and sampling on the current layer, we can quickly repair the ripple in the background without damaging the ear. When done, we'll press Ctrl-D, Command-D on a Mac, to deselect the selection, and we're done. Here's before, and here's after. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. To learn more about Valley Photo Workshops, I hope you'll visit the site, valleyphotoworkshops.com. Thanks for watching.